Thank you for doing this for me. You're actually the first. This is my first podcast.
I hope we do well.
Well, I guess the big question I have for you, Coach, why Marlette?
Why Marlette? Well, we go back to 72. Uh, I taught Redford Union Schools, which suburb of Detroit, and I was a JV coach, and I wanted to be a head coach.
Is that where you were from? Is from
Yes,
Redwood? Oh.
yes. But a friend of mine who I coached against down there came up here a year before, took the Deckerville job, told me about this position. So I applied, and in a matter of 3 days, I had to make a decision whether I wanted to take it or not.
Nobody gets hired that fast anymore.
This was August.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, school was going to start.
So were you ready to be still at Redford then?
I
Before they called you here?
Well, when they offered me the job, they called on a Sunday night, said they needed an answer by 4 o'clock Monday because they had a board meeting. So I took it.
That's funny. What'd you teach?
I taught over the years. I taught U.S. history junior high, U.S. history high school, junior high math, phys ed, a little bit of everything.
A little bit.
And of course, for 17 years, I was AD as well.
Oh, okay. Well, the AD, I mean, that didn't take you away from any of the teaching, though.
I taught a half day.
Oh, okay.
Taught a half day, had 2 hours for AD plus my prep hour.
Oh,
So it was at times hectic, but
yeah.
it worked.
So, in your course coaching, what did you guys ever go anywhere like any of the championships or head over to Lansing for anything?
Oh, we go watch them.
Yeah.
We never made it there, but we took the players to see, what's out there and what we'd like to accomplish.
Okay.
But the best part was just working with those kids. They're like a family, you know. Lou Sauter, when she played for me, she always told me I just one of the girls. I don't know what that was supposed to be, but I ended up coaching 21 years girls and 12 boys varsity.
Which one was first?
Pardon?
Which one did you do first?
I did the boys.
Did the
I
boys
came
first.
here. Yeah.
Well, what was it like when you were told about having to coach the girls?
It was not sure what we're going to walk into, because the program had not been successful.
That had been around a while?
Oh, about 4 years,
Okay.
5 years. But, and this isn't a knock at the coaches, but girls' sports wasn't that big. So whoever they could get to coach it, they coached it. And I coached 2 years of boys, and I resigned. Just wasn't what I wanted.
Coaching the boys wasn't.
Right. Well, then the second year, they came to me and asked me if I'd be interested in coaching the girls. And my wife was a big pusher for the girls. I was, it was an unknown. What am I getting into? Well, I was blessed because I had Lou, at that time Burton,
Right.
Sauter.
Was she one of the first ones then?
She was a sophomore the first year I coached.
Okay.
And Mary Lou Kraft, and the rest of the kids.
Yeah. Well, I'm putting this online, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who'd like to hear about young Lou, especially former students that might be listening.
Oh, they might. Like I said, I was blessed. These kids wanted to play. They were very athletic. The first year we went 8 and 13 or something. But the next, their junior and senior year, we went 18-3, 22-2.
Oh.
But the beauty of them was the fact that they went and sold it to young kids. They were salespeople, so to speak.
Oh, keeping the program going.
And
with the next classes.
we had great turnout for elementary basketball. But that was the start of it. And throughout the 21 years, it didn't change. The faces changed, the names changed,
right.
but the commitment didn't change. You know, so out of the kids that played for me, 7 went on to coach at some level, and Nicole Neiman, her maiden name was Ruggles. She and her husband are coaching Division II college.
Oh, that's right.
So the program, you know, kind of fed itself, but it was enjoyable. The group of kids, and we kind of took the place by storm.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's
out
to turn
of
around.
the 21 seasons, we only had 3 losing seasons, and it wasn't because of me. It was
Right.
because of the kids and their commitment.
I bet you they'd say different.
Oh, but I wouldn't trade it. But
Right.
then the boys' job opened up again, and it was girls was still in the fall, so boys were in the winter. So I took it too.
So did you double duty?
Yeah, but I had fun with that program. But
Well,
I think if anything, my heart probably rests with the girls.
Yeah. Yeah, you're still on the sideline every game.
Yeah, I enjoy it. Otherwise, you know, I'm 76 years old. It's not like I'm going to go out and run a marathon or something. I have to have something to do. And, you know, with the
Right.
winter, I don't want to sit around the house all the time.
Right.
And Chris Storm has been so good to me. I coached his JV for 3 years, and this year I'm just a volunteer with him, but he's made me so welcome, and, you know, takes my suggestions, gives me credit for what I mentioned to him. So,
Well, you've been doing it for a while.
well,
You got to know something, right?
I think I've coached something over 51 years.
What else have you coached?
I coached, when we were in Redford, I coached 8th grade football, 9th grade track. When I came here, I coached JV football and varsity baseball.
So what would you say are the key differences between the sports in terms of coaching?
The difference?
Yeah. Yeah, what would be different? You know, what I mean all the rules are different and the way the game is played is different. But do you have a different approach per
No. The games are different, but I always coached with the idea that sport, whatever it may be, was life.
Right.
Didn't matter. You know, we all have a contribution to make, some more than others. You know, like the school, we have a school board, we have superintendent, principals, cooks, custodians, teachers, but they all play a major role in it being something. So that was my goal, that I taught life. Had kids, you know, come back now. I get what you were saying, Coach.
Yeah.
You know, all of a sudden it happened.
Even though they
Some-
ignored you back then.
Yeah, but that was the big staple. You know, it stayed the same. The sport, we adjusted to whatever it was.
Yeah.
But needless to say, basketball is first love.
Right.
Well, and there's the game itself. But then too, like I tell people, if it's snowing and it's cold, we're not playing. But in football and baseball, you play in some ungodly weather. I like the warm gym.
There you go. So before you came up here, you were a young man at one time.
One time.
Right.
Yeah.
And you remember that.
Yeah.
So where'd you grow up?
Well, I was born in Detroit.
Detroit proper, not any of the
Right,
suburbs.
right.
Detroit proper.
Detroit proper. And when I was second grade, family moved to Oscoda. And we lived there 6 years. And we moved back down and lived in Redford Township, which is first suburb west of Detroit.
Okay. What'd your dad do that got you guys moving
My
around?
dad was in the bar restaurant business.
Okay.
And so we moved back there, and I went to Redford Union to school. And then I went to Eastern,
All right.
Michigan, and
What'd you study there?
teaching.
Oh, just went to...
Yeah.
Okay.
And I met the lady of my life. So we were married last year and a half of school. I took advanced ROTC, so I had 9 semesters of school, but it was during Vietnam and the draft. So by taking advanced ROTC, I went in as an officer.
Oh.
Had I been drafted, I'd been, a private. And I just figured that that offered me something special. Plus, I got 90 cents a day for advanced ROTC. So I get a $27 check. Well, as it turned out, Jackie gave birth to our daughter 9 months and 13 days after we were married.
Oh,
So, and in that day and age, she had a great job, but at 6 months, they just said goodbye, gave her a crib blanket, no benefits, no nothing. So for a year and a half, we lived on, I worked as a custodian. We lived on the $40 a week I made doing that and the $27 a month. So our budget for food was about $6-7 a week.
How much food did that get back then?
It got us enough to get by. We ate a lot of macaroni and cheese. We took any invitation to dinner and went, and we would take home anything that was left over. We weren't choosy, but we were 19 and 21.
So where did you guys live at that time then?
We had a trailer in a trailer park, 8 by 40, 1 bedroom, a bathroom. You could use the toilet, wash your hands in the sink, and soak your feet in the tub. That's how small it was.
I think they call those multitasking toilets.
Yes, but we were fortunate to have it. And so I commuted the last year and a half to Eastern. Then I went on active duty, went Fort Gordon to school, military police. Oh. And then I was stationed Killeen Base, which was across the road from Fort Hood in Texas. And ironically, at Fort Hood, our son was born. He now lives 30 miles from where he was born. So, but so then I came back.
So did you ever get deployed anywhere, or you just all schooling the whole time?
Yeah. But when we got out of the service, I got a job with Redford Union teaching elementary PE, and eventually I got a junior high basketball job and JV at Redford Union, and we came up here.
Does any of that military training work into your coaching?
Yeah, discipline, self-discipline.
Mhm.
Yeah. Uh, it lent itself to the teaching. You know, expectations.
Mhm.
Yeah. You know, today there's too much this sense of entitlement instead of earning something.
Right.
You know, so. But I'll say I taught when teaching was the most fun because just that, the structure of it, you know, kids respected teachers and administration, and most do today. But you have that group that think
There's enough. Yeah.
that they're above you.
Now, do you see that as any issue with the sports right now, and getting kids in that sense of entitlement?
There's some, yeah, but so much I think depends on the coach, how you approach it.
Mhm.
You know, as us told, the inmates don't run the asylum. You know, and the best place to coach is an orphanage. But so much depends on the coaches. You know, we've got some great coaches here. You know, both Kathy and Chris Storm do a great job. Dave Hayden. You know, it just, you can tell the difference in programs by the discipline and structure of the coach.
Oh. So I know that you've had to have coached your kids. Well, what was that like, segregating out between you and your kids?
Again,
coaching?
What was what?
Separating dad and then coach.
Uh,
Having to separate those two out.
It's tough. It's tough because you don't want the rest of the kids to figure this one has special privileges.
Right.
But with our youngest daughter, Tammy, she played for me, and came home one night after a game, and I'm still coaching her.
Yeah.
And my wife Jackie says, "What other players are being corrected right now?" None. I got the message.
Right.
Home, it was daughter. On the court, it was player. And that worked good. But it's difficult because people, you know, it doesn't take much for people to say, you know, special treatment. You see it all the time, not just in sports. So-and-so got out of this because his parent is a teacher, you know. But this poor kid, his parent's not with the school, so he gets, no, it's, you know, you get what you deserve.
Yeah. Then, so there's no going home. Well, if you can't get the socks in the basket, just like you can't make a free throw either.
Yeah.
None of that.
Well, the thing with her, I never started her, and that was an injustice.
So you did kind of the anti-privilege thing.
Yeah. And she made all conference coming off the bench. So, you know, that just reinforced the fact that I probably gypped her a little bit.
Didn't seem to hurt her too much. She's AD now.
Yeah.
So she must have thought it was okay.
Well,
in retrospect.
I'm proud of her. I'm proud of all our kids, but, you know, the fact that she's doing what I did for 17 years and doing well at it.
So which one's your favorite kid?
Which one?
Yeah, no, I'm messing with.
All three.
Right, all three.
I'm sure there's days this one bothers me, but you know, I think the thing I'm proudest of, you know, we've been married 56 years, but all three of my kids have been married 30, 29, and 28 years. So
you set a good example.
I hope so.
What's the secret to staying married that long?
Blind luck. Seriously, love them to pieces.
Right.
But by the same token, the rules in this house were no different than the rules I had on the basketball court. Didn't treat anybody differently than I treated my 3 kids.
Right.
So, but, you know, we were very blessed that they turned out, you know, because they're all very successful. Tammy, of course, is with the AD. Our oldest daughter, with the Career Center. And our son works for a helicopter company out of Vancouver.
That's what he's doing now?
You know, he's communication. He's, you know, spreads the word, so to speak.
Right.
But he travels a lot, but he's still living. He worked for Dell for 13 years, and he lived in Texas, and he's still there. He flies a lot, you know, travels. The main office is in Vancouver, so he'll go up there once in a while. But no, all 3 kids have done so well for themselves, and their spouses are A+.
That's going to get you better Christmas presents this year.
Pardon?
They're going to get better Christmas presents this year.
No, they take good care of us.
Good. So, back in your college days, what type of person were you? Were you the heavy student? You kind of a goof off? I mean, you met a great wife, so you couldn't have been too much.
In school,
Oh, that's fine.
in school, I was an average student. Went to college, 2.5, 2.6 grade point, until I got married and realized I got a daughter now and a wife. Wait a minute here. So for 3 semesters, I made the dean's list. Reality set in.
Those last 3 semesters.
Yes. Reality set in that I better get my act together. So, but I always loved school. Like I say, I was 2.5, 2.6. I was an average student.
Well, you stayed in school most of your life.
But I loved the school, and I loved sports. And the funny thing is, in sports, I wasn't a starter or anything. I came off the bench in basketball, but I got an education sitting on the bench. I came to know, you know, what to teach, what areas are neglected, you know. So when I coached, I was a stickler for fundamentals. You know.
So when you retired, how tough of a decision was it to retire from teaching?
Not hard. I had watched several teachers extend their career, and health became a factor. You know, their health deteriorated some.
When they were extending the career?
Yeah. And you don't know what you're gonna, you know, get or have. So when I retired, it was just from teaching. I kept the coaching jobs and AD.
Oh, okay.
And then I gave up the girls, and I gave up the boys, and I gave up the AD. But over a period of 4 or 5 years.
So you didn't quit cold turkey?
No, I never could. Well, you know, here I am now, and I'm still at the school.
Right.
That's the only thing that keeps me mentally young. Physically, I'm going down the drain, so to speak, but not here. Mentally, I love those kids, and they're the spark that keeps me going. But retirement was nice. You know, when I was just coaching AD, you know, it was simple. So, but it got me out of the house and kept me active.
And it's good to get out of the house too.
Oh yeah, like now, with this stupid cancer, but cabin fever can come easy.
Right.
Especially this time of the year. Warm weather, I can get out and walk and get around, but I'm limited, and what's there to do? So
right.
I've got basketball to look forward to. And like I say, Chris has given me a lot of leeway and very receptive to things I see. I pass on to him, and if he thinks it helps, he adds it. If he doesn't, I understand that too.
Right.
But that's what I'm doing as a volunteer assistant, just throwing things out and see if they stick on the wall.
Right. I'm sure, unlike most assistants, you actually know what you're talking about too. Do you have any of those types of assistants that would try to help you out, kind of throwing the stuff out there, whether you use it or not?
Well, we got Jim Marshall coaching JV now, boys. Mm-hmm. And Jimmy was with me for 10 years as an assistant. And it's scary. The other night at a timeout, he's talking to his kids, and he's using my lines. Because he's a good coach, but, working together, the same thing. I say things that he has said to me, but he was always there, and that was on the bench. And if he'd say something, I'd say, that's good, let's try that, or not right now, but, he never doubted where he stood. And I have the utmost respect for him and his abilities. He's a tremendous coach, and he's a tremendous person.
So when you hear your own advice come out of his mouth, do you think, wow, that was a load of crap? or do you have a different perspective? You're like, oh, wow, I'm brilliant.
No, I'm proud.
Yeah.
I'm proud of him. I'm proud of what I think I've accomplished. This battle with cancer has really opened my eyes.
In what
of
ways?
All cards, notes, emails, stopping in, unreal. Hey, Coach, I remember this. We reminisce. No, that's the special part of it. Some kids, you see them, I get it now, Coach. Maybe they didn't get it during school, but they picked it up. But that, I look at myself when I came out of school. The learning process continued, and I became smarter.
Right.
And I think that's true with anybody with anything. You work with it long enough, you go back. But I worked for some real great people coming up. Had a lot of guidance and direction, and I think you take everything that fits your criteria and add it to your program.
Well, who would you say is your biggest influencer? Because I know there's hundreds of former Marlette students that you're their influencer. Who's your influence?
Mine, when I was in high school, my best friend's dad was the athletic director and head basketball coach at Redford Union, Howard Kraft. I played for him. Like I said, I came off the bench. I wasn't a starter. I got to play, and contribute, but he was. I spent a lot of time at their house, and kind of not realizing I was picking his brain,
Yeah.
But we discussed basketball, and I came back to teach there, and I coach there. So he is probably the most influential.
What's a saying that he did that really sticks into you that you've used
the way he
yourself?
treated kids.
Yeah.
He, back then in the old days, usually it was tryouts. Come in this Monday morning, the sheets on the window. The following people are members of the varsity basketball team.
Okay.
And that was it. Well, he didn't. He'd call each kid in, explain to him why he made it or why he didn't. And that's something that stuck with me, and I think it's important. I think a kid has to know why. I don't want him to think, I don't like you, but these are the reasons. And up front with them, you tell them how many you're going to carry. If I'm going to carry 12 kids, okay, they know what they're competing for.
Right.
And again, we go back to life. I apply for a job. You apply for it. Several others. Only one of us are going to get the job. And you find that out at the beginning. So that's treating kids right. Now, I'm sure over the years of coaching, there are kids that didn't like what I had to say. But I never lied to them.
Right.
I gave it to them straight, and that's something kids have come back to me about. Had one talked about the fact that he went to the dedication of the gym a few years ago, and I made the comment about trust and being honest with people. And he said, that's the same thing you heard from me when he was a third grader in the Pee Wee program. So there's some consistency, and I like to think I was. But I was told kids, and I was vocal. I mean, I'm not going to deny that. I was an emotional type coach.
Right.
But I was told kids, the only time you get upset is when I quit talking to you, because that's it, But
well, I know that led an impression to a lot of students here, because even my wife got that line from one of your former players.
Yeah, but it's a two-way street, and listen to what I say, not how I say it.
Right.
And for the most part, that worked.
So you touched on the gym dedication.
Pardon?
You touched on the gym dedication. What was that like to find out that they were dedicating the gym to you?
Humbling. First off, not a clue about it until I was told. Never even considered it as something that could happen. Yeah. And then to happen, and I'm still alive, because everything I see is in memory of people, and that just blew me away. Blew me away.
How'd they let you know? They call you up? They call you into the school?
No, my daughter and son-in-law stopped here after the board meeting to tell me about it. Yeah. But no, I feel very honored, but I feel very, very humbled that, my name's going to be on that wall.
For as long as the wall's there.
Pardon?
For as long as the wall's there.
And a year longer.
So, with the dedication and then with the cancer, what's been the biggest surprises that you've had with people stopping by or anything
biggest
that's happened?
Surprise?
Yeah.
Not surprise, I don't know if that's the word, but when our grandson was killed in a car accident, the response You had the Hall family, the Reid family. Uh, when Kyle Layden stayed at Marsh, over 1,000 people went through there. And it was about him, but I think it was about families too. And then at the funeral itself in the gym, we came in with the casket, and you looked in the stands, and here's green shirts, Brown City basketball team, orange shirts, Ubley basketball team, and all that. And the impact that had on people just, was special. But that's probably the thing that solidified the fact that I knew Marlette was the right place for us to be. That was the final, stamp of approval.
So a 3-hour decision turned into what you have now.
Yeah. Wouldn't trade it. We first came up here, though. I don't think my wife really wanted to be here, but because I wanted to coach, she's a trooper, and we got here, and we weren't here that long, and we found out that this is where we should be.
What was the point that made you realize that this is the place to be? The big spark,
the people,
the moment.
the people, and how well we're received. The freedom our kids had, out here compared to the city. Mm-hmm. The city wasn't a problem other than numbers and, traffic. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, if we go down to the Detroit area, or just get me out of here, too much traffic, right. Things like that. But no, we liked it. The kids liked it. Our kids got opportunities educationally to do things they probably wouldn't have gotten in Redford. Because when we left Redford Union High School had 2,400 kids in grades 10 through 12.
That's just 10 to 12?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I don't care if it was sports, theater, whatever. The chances of involvement were less. Mm-hmm. Here, we joke about it, but our oldest daughter, Tracy, played for me, and she'd be the first to tell you she wasn't a real good basketball player. But we always joked, this was with Lou and them, that she knew all the words to the songs of the 50s and 60s. So she was the entertainment on the team. But, stuff like that. Yeah. She had never had that opportunity at Redford Union.
Is there anything you want to talk about? Anything that happened that you really just wanted to...
Well, the only thing is dealing with prostate cancer. It was, how many years ago? 15 years ago that I was first diagnosed with it. Mm-hmm. Had surgery, clean as a whistle for 5-6 years.
So you went that long thinking you're fine. You've got it. Got it beat.
Then, whoops, it's back. And it was in the lymph nodes and where the prostate used to be. So I went 42 treatments of radiation for that. Bingo, we're clean again. And then a year and a half ago, it's back again. So this time, probably the worst it's been. But we stay positive. We go to U of M. I've been on chemo The numbers have receded, which indicates that the chemo is working, but we're a team fighting it, you know. I heard a fella down at U of M talking about, I'm living with cancer, not dying from cancer.
Okay.
And we thought that was pretty nifty. But then our son sends me an email, Stuart Scott, that just passed away from ESPN.
Yep.
And I forget the exact words, but about cancer, and it's a matter of how you live. As far as the cancer, how you live and the example you set. So,
what example are you trying to set with?
By being active, I'm not conceding, I'm not giving in. I told somebody one day about, they asked how I was doing, and I said, good, we haven't even gone into overtime yet. You know, so we're correlating with basketball, but that's how I feel. Are there bad days? Without a doubt. But with the support I get from my wife, my family, my church, you know, I can't give up.
Right.
I can't give up. So we stay active.
What's it like when you get the news for the third time that it's...
The first time was shocking enough, but the third time, a momentary setback.
It's kind of, I've done this twice.
Yeah, you know, so we've been doing this 13 years, something like that. But the third time, you know, second time, I thought, well, radiation, we've got it whipped. But wasn't to be. But this time, a little more, because it has showed up in bone. So, but when they first told me I was stage 4, I was ready to dig a grave.
Oh.
Everything I heard, stage 4 is, you know.
That was it?
Not true. Not with prostate cancer. My doctor tells me she's had patients live as much as 14 years later with it in the bone at stage 4. Oh. Each cancer is different. You know, even if you and I had this prostate cancer, the chemo I took has worked. She called me a poster child because it works so well. It may not do the same thing for you. You know, right. That's how
different it is.
Unpredictable this disease is. But I'm not afraid of it. I know the Lord's with me. I'm not afraid of death. So let's go forward. See what we can do. But yeah, I want people to know, you know, that you don't quit, that you keep working.
Yeah. Well, we can see you're working hard.
Yeah.
You're fighting.
Huh?
What about him?
Not worried about Kodak.
Oh, yeah. I have carrots. You know how you hang a carrot out for the donkey to follow?
Right.
I have carrots. I had a carrot to see coach basketball last year. Then to see my grandson, Dakota, graduate, and he happened to be valedictorian. And then our son was a commencement speaker.
I tell you what, that was a really fun speech too. I'll have to make sure to put that online. I have it at home.
I was blown away, but it did not surprise me because he's been that person since that. But So I got that carrot. So then it was Jenna Lang's wedding was the next carrot.
Mm-hmm.
Next carrot was this basketball season. Another carrot out there, our grandson gets married in August. So I just keep chasing carrots.
Just every time you get one, you find a new one. And
Get a new one, hang it out there.
well, that's good advice.
Well, it's
Keep
worked
chasing
for
the
us.
carrots.
It's worked for us. But so many people have given me strength, hope, whatever you want to say, just their approach. And when you're at U of M Hospital, you meet some great people. They're in the same canoe, you know.
Have you been able to coach anybody down there?
Do what?
Have you been able to pull out the old coaching hat and help anybody down there?
No, just talk.
Just talk.
Let's talk, but we've even found people from the area. We found a nurse that did 4-H with our daughter-in-law.
Oh, that's funny.
It was hilarious that, you know, here she is. But no, you get to share stories down there, you know, as far as your situation, my situation. Met a fella who had bladder cancer and had surgery and they removed it.
Mm-hmm.
Took a piece of his colon, turned it into a new bladder.
That's amazing.
And it works.
That's amazing.
It is. It's mind-boggling, you know, because I saw him, first met him the day they were going to hook him back up to the bladder now from the kidneys.
Yeah.
And a month later saw him, everything was working fine. He was cancer-free and he had a bladder.
Wow.
So each case is so different.
Yeah.
And yet,
all the same.
I'm so impressed with the hospital. They treat you like you're their only patient. That's what I love. That's what I love. Sometimes we have to sit a little longer than you'd want to.
Right.
But once you get in and talk to the doctor, there is no rush.
So
none.
When you're sitting there and waiting and you've got everything hooked up to you, what do you do when you're down there? You listen to music, read books?
Nah, they have television, but I'll probably take a newspaper and read it, or a book, magazine. But we go blood draw, and by the time I get in to see the doctor, they have the printout as far as what that is, and then go to infusion. When you get the chemo, and you lay in a recliner, it vibrates, it's heated, you fall asleep. But you know, I look at some of the people that are in there, and I just pray for them because so many young people, and in pain, some of them, and you know, I feel very fortunate. I have not experienced any pain. If I've experienced anything, it's reaction to the chemotherapy.
Oh, okay.
But I have it on a Monday, and usually Thursday is the day from hell that it hits, you know.
So it takes a couple of days before it gets you.
Yeah. Then I'm happy right here and shut my eyes and sleep.
Right.
So.
You need to get hooked up with a nice vibrating heated chair down too.
Well, we had one.
That
you wore out.
It wore out. But
that's funny.
Well, I don't know anything else to help you with, Jerrod.
No, that's fine. I'm just trying to think. I mean, you've gone through so much. You've had a lot of, you know, the outpouring of love from a small community like this.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're almost at the hour mark, so
we did.
We
pretty good.
We end up making it.
Okay.
Well, yeah, so we'll be able to wrap it up for the very first podcast. Your very first podcast too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know what a podcast was. We are not very smart when it comes to electronics, and
Right.
I'm still one that if I wanted to talk to her in school, I'd drop a note on her desk. Now
Maybe we'll have to talk again. We'll have to get into that
now
a little
they go
bit.
cell phone, text them.
Right.
Uh,
Thank you
You're welcome.
for
Hope it went
inviting
good.
me to your beautiful house. I'm glad that you invited me.
Thank you.
Let me do this. So I'll sign it off, and we'll say just keep finding new carrots to chase.
Thank you.
That's what I learned.
Appreciate your efforts.
All right, thank you.